At first glance, the Hyrax appears to be an ordinary mouse-like animal living a typical and boring animal life until you learn that the Hyrax is a close relative of the elephant. How did this happen? Let's get to the bottom of it. Let's start with the fact that at first people didn't understand what kind of animal it was. They were first discovered by the Phoenicians, who looked at this fluffy splendor and nicknamed the animal Shafan, which in their language means the one who hides. Apparently, they simply could not determine what the Hyrax looked like and only noticed that the gray woolly clumps were constantly trying to hide from them. The Arabs also encountered them, and they too could not figure out what they were. The funny thing is that they named this rodent with a word that means ram. What can I say? Mutton is respected in Arab countries. I hope nobody dared to taste these rodents in ancient times. The English name Hyrax comes from the Greek language and is generally translated as shrew. The problems with the name of the animal can be considered as someone's joke or extreme disinterest in studying something that looks like a mixture of a mouse and a rabbit. But the main trump card of the Hyrax, namely its kinship with elephants, is worth talking about separately. Yes, we're not kidding. This puffball, which fattens up to a maximum of 4 kilos with a body length of up to 60 centimeters, is indeed the ancestor of the elephant, which you yourself know how much bigger it is. But the relationship here is rather confusing. In ancient times, Hyraxes shared common ancestors with both sirens, manatees, dugongs, and trunks, Indian and African elephants. If you have time to be upset that the Hyrax is a relative of the elephant, but a very distant one, we hasten to please you. They have more in common than it might seem at first. For example, they have the same location of the mammary glands, on the chest and in the armpits, sensitive sniffing and hearing, and the ability to pick up ground vibrations surprisingly accurately pads on the paws. And its toes do not end in claws as in other animals, but with flat nails, just like elephants. This unusual leg shape, coupled with their sweating, helps the Hyrax literally suck onto rock ledges and perfectly climb the rocks that abound in its habitat of southern and eastern Africa. The animals often bask in the African sun. They like to gather in groups of up to 60 individuals, which is especially helpful at night when the sun is not shining. The fact is that Hyraxes do not have a good thermoregulatory system, so they just keep each other warm. These downy muzzles eat mainly plant food, but sometimes they are not averse to snacking on larvae and insects. In terms of numbers and survival, Hyraxes are doing well. They are the least feared by biologists and very well adapted to life in their region. They are literally unrivaled in running and rock climbing.